My name is Merari Marin. I chose modeling because it helps students develop their touch. It helps them focus on touching as well as allowing them to be as creative as possible, because especially in the lower grade levels, although we wish we could say that students get the opportunity to model a lot, they kind of, have their own little corner where they can go play with Play-Doh, but they don't really get any teacher interaction while they're working with the Play-Doh. They kind of sit there and touch it, but that's as far as it goes. They never have a chance to be creative with it, to say, hey, here's this project, let's work on it. And it's also very great for students with learning styles such as a visual learning style, because most of the time the learning style that is taught with in elementary schools is auditory. Many times teachers just talk and talk and talk, and the students are just supposed to sit there. And it also helps them work on their interpersonal skills. It helps them, kind of bond together and work on their own projects individually, but at the same time share them as a whole and see how creative they can be with each other. I chose to work with salt clay, and I also chose it because not only do you have an opportunity to work with an activity, but you also have an opportunity to make an activity of making the salt clay itself. The teachers should kind of understand where their students are at and if they were capable of helping them make salt clay. But I think it's great because you can, make something simple like this one, just the plain recipe with no food coloring, or you can let your students get creative and create their own colors. I just chose to make just the basic colors. Teacher can allow the students to make their own colors, to work in groups and create their colors, make neon colors, or I also have glitter. You could add glitter, maybe just at the end or at the beginning. If you use food glitter, I think it works a little bit better, and it binds and it doesn't stick to their hands as much. And modeling is about the process. It's not always about the end result, and that's what I really like about this, is that the students get the opportunity to sit there and play and actually, tell you, do you think this is too soft, too hard? The focus isn't always on the result itself. It's on seeing what the students are capable of creating, where their creativity levels are at. And with this, I also tried to incorporate a few different things that you could use. I chose, just a regular pencil that you have around the classroom, where the students can, whatever activity they're working on, they can make holes in it, they can make designs in the clay itself, and when it dries, I just did a smiley face, but when it dries it would be something else, or it would be a plastic fork. I didn't have any, but you could use a plastic fork and they could make longer holes or be more symmetric. And then for a spoon, they can make little indentations in their designs. They could use their fingers. They're limited just to their imagination. And of course, I really like the idea of a garlic press, and this is just the little part that came off of the one I happen to have at home. But if they press it through, they can make things such as grass or hair or different things like that. And I also tried to incorporate some string for the activity that I'm going to talk about in a minute. And so the activity that I chose to work on today was having the students create their own animal. And I think it's a really good idea because they can incorporate different animals that they like, or they can make something completely new. And so today I wanted to create a penguin mixed with a dinosaur, because my favorite animal right now is a penguin, and when I was smaller I used to love dinosaurs a lot. So it can be simple, it can be not so simple. I'm just going to make something simple, but I would start off with like the little body shape for the penguin. I would also teach the students that, when you're working with clays, to get them to stick together, if this is something permanent that you're going to want, then maybe you can add a little bit of water, and I just have a little bit of water right here to dip my finger in and then kind of mush it on there. But if they don't want to, then they can kind of prop it on there a little bit, and then at the end you could just take it off. And so that would be the little body for my penguin. And then I have all kinds of different colors here. I made sure to get green, red, orange. If the students wanted to mix the colors together, then I would allow them to mix the colors and get little swirls, such as, well, right now I wanted to create the feet. So if I wanted the feet to be swirled, I would just kind of swirl it like that. And then I would take off a piece so that in the feet there would be like a little design in and of itself. If the students have any kind of ideas, I think this is a great opportunity to let them just be as creative as possible. I think allowing them to come up with different ideas is a good thing. And so you just give it 2 little feet. Well, I'm going to give it 2 little feet, but if the students want to give it 3 feet, 4 feet, 8 feet, then they can go right ahead. That's one thing that's also very important about modeling, is that one thing that was in the book was that if they want to stick something on, stick a tiny little piece, and they can't, instead of trying to stick the tiny little piece, we could give them the idea of pinching out a piece of the clay to make the arms, instead of trying to stick little tiny arms if they can't do it, if it's not working for any reason. But just giving them the different opportunities and working through the process with them, instead of saying, oh, why do you want such small arms, let's give it big arms, or it doesn't need arms, or anything like that, that would prevent the student's creativity from flowing in the way that it has. So I'm just going to add the little head, and I made the little head blue and the body is purple, and so I just keep going. And I wanted to add a tail to it. Take some of the little clippings that I made on the garlic press, and that would be the little tiny spikes on the tail, because dinosaurs, some of them have spikes on their tail. And so that would be it. And once we're at the very end, I also have beads. Now beads would be something that you would kind of help the students with it, and maybe not for the younger grades, because I figured this would be something for maybe kinder or first grade. But I would make sure to be around students if they're going to be using beads, or maybe just wait until the very end and work with them together to put the beads at the end, so they don't swallow the beads or play with the beads in their mouth, things like that. And so I'm just going to add 2 little beads for the eyes, my little hybrid penguin dinosaur. And this is what I came up with. I think, this activity can go many different ways. Students can make something big, something small, something you would have never thought of yourself. It's very interesting to see how they think. And once again, my name is Merari Marin. I chose modeling as a good technique to show off. And thank you.